Now let me give you this definition of shame here, and I believe it'll kind of give you some insight. Shame is defined as a painful sensation. A painful sensation excited by a consciousness of guilt. A painful sensation excited by a consciousness of guilt. When, and I'm not talking to any of you this morning, but maybe you'll give this CD or this DVD to somebody that could use it. You know, that's why you're here, so you can bring it to that person you're thinking of. But there are people, again, not in this room, that have habits. And these habits take them through a cycle of sin, condemnation, guilty conscience, self-abuse, temporary release, back into sin. And they live this cycle, whether it's through pornography, whether it's through any sort of addictive substances, be it drugs or alcohol or nicotine or anything else. And they live this cycle of being all right, falling into sin, dealing with the shame, beating themselves up for 2 or 3 days, telling themselves they're not worthy to go on, and then shaking themselves off where they finally have suffered enough for what they've done, pick back up with their relationship with God, only within a few weeks or a month or so to be right back there. And that roller coaster of shame, or that definition that we had, that painful sensation that's excited by a consciousness of guilt, that's what shame is. You know, in Atlanta, they have this roller coaster. They used to have it. It was called the Viper. And when you would sit in there, it would start you off at a standstill. And when the guys mashed the button, it took off at 70 miles an hour, took you up through this loop. And when you got through this loop, it kind of ended. But what you didn't realize is now that it ended, you're going back through the loop one more time. And so the guy would press the button and you'd take off and you'd be like, oh my God, oh Lord God, we're going to die, we're going to die. Oh, it's not so bad. Oh my Lord God, oh God, we're going to die, oh my God. And that's how most Christians live their lives. They only have 1 or 2 times a month where they're really calm. The rest of the time they're on this circle of, I've been involved in pornography. I struggle with this sexual sin. I'm back in that relationship. I'm battling that drink that's in my refrigerator, so on and so forth. A lot of this live our lives right in that place, and that shame, instead of enjoying a life of the mercy of God, of the goodness of God, we find ourselves constantly trying to cover ourselves, trying to make ourselves feel better, trying to make ourselves feel acceptable with God, wanting to run from God. And listen to me, when you have fallen in sin, that is not the time to run from God. That is the time to make the fastest sprint you can ever do towards God. Why? Because if the blood of Jesus is ever any good, it's good when you need it the most. It's good when your hands are the dirtiest. But shame wants to make you say, look what you've done. How dare you even think about talking to God? This is the 10th time since the last time you promised one more time, and that shame is designed to build a wall, keep you feeling that pain so you don't run and experience the cleansing blood of Jesus. But I have news this morning. We are going to deprogram or uproot shame at its roots, and you will never be lorded over by shame again, because the mercy of God is going to become more real to you this morning than the shame you feel for your sin. And if you ever get a revelation that God has more mercy than you have sin, you will live a shame-free, guilt-free life before God the way He intended it to be.